Alright, if nobody has anything that they need to do, then we'll go ahead and start with toss-up 1. One of these events, which began at Pudding Lane in 1666, was recorded in Samuel Pepys' diary.
Fire.
That is correct for power. Your bonus. This British overseas territory sits near the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula. For 10 points each, name this peninsula at the entrance of the Mediterranean Sea.
Gibraltar.
That is correct. The ancients knew Gibraltar as one of the pillars of this mythological character.
Hercules.
That is correct. Gibraltar's major landmark, the Rock, is home to what species of wild monkeys, the only ones found in Europe?
Okay.
Capuchin.
That is incorrect, Captain.
Howler Marsh.
No, that would be Barbary macaques. Toss-up 2. Pencil and paper ready. Ian needs to know the next time a train will leave on the hour. He knows that a train left at noon, and subsequent trains leave at every 9 minutes thereafter. By finding the least common multiple, manual 1.
2 o'clock.
That is correct. For power. Oh, sorry. Okay. Your bonus. After this character is inherited by his master, he starts telling people his master is the Marquis of Carabas. For 10 points each, name this character who appears in one of Perrault's Mother Goose stories and in Peter Tchaikovsky's The Sleeping Beauty. He's named for his footwear and dupes a king into marrying his daughter off to his poor master.
Slippers.
That is incorrect, Captain.
Sandals.
That is incorrect as well. It would be Puss in Boots. The movie Puss in Boots is a spin-off of the franchise of spin-off of the franchise of movies named for this large green ogre, voiced by Mike Myers, who married Princess Fiona.
Correct.
That is correct. Puss in Boots is voiced by this Spanish actor who portrayed Gregorio Cortez in Spy Kids and Zorro in The Mask of Zorro.
Bandera.
That is correct. 20 on the 20 on the bonus. Toss-up 3. Gozo Island is part of this nation, which from the 16th to 18th century was controlled by the Knights of St. John. Manual 3.
Malta.
That is correct for power. Your bonus. This country's longtime dictator, Porfirio Diaz, was toppled in 1911. For 10 points each, name this country where Diaz's overthrow was followed by a 10-year-long revolution.
Mexico.
That's correct. This man was elected to succeed Diaz in 1911. He was assassinated in 1913.
Benito Juarez.
That is incorrect. Captain?
Smith.
Incorrect. Francisco I. Madero. In early 1913, this U.S. president decided to let his successor, Woodrow Wilson, decide whether to recognize the man who ordered Madero's death, Victoriano Huerta, as a legitimate leader.
Taft.
That is correct. 20 on the bonus. A Parsi character in this novel is compared to a shadow after he predicts that a companion will be killed by him. At the end of this novel, Fidala's corpse is seen before a harpoon rope drags Captain Ahab into the sea. Manual 3.
Moby Dick.
That is correct for 10. Your bonus. For 10 points each, name these acids produced by living organisms. This acid, the principal form of vitamin C, can prevent scurvy.
Ascorbic acid.
That is correct. The Krebs cycle is sometimes named after this 6-carbon acid that gives lemons and similar fruits their sour taste.
Citric acid.
That is correct. The soreness that results from exercise is caused by the production of this acid from fermentation of pyruvate.
Lactic acid.
That's correct. 30 on the bonus. A leader of this country said that the Star of Freedom in the toss-up 5. A leader of this country said that the Star of Freedom in the East was rising in the Tryst with Destiny speech. Manual 1.
Dio.
That is correct for power. Your bonus. This city's Beale Street is often known as the home of the blues. For 10 points each, name this city found on the Mississippi River, the most populous in Tennessee.
Memphis.
That's correct. One of the most popular tourist attractions in modern-day Memphis is this mansion once owned by Elvis Presley.
Graceland.
That is correct. In 1991, the National Civil Rights Museum was opened in Memphis atop the former site of the Lorraine Motel, where this man was assassinated in 1968.
Martin Luther King Jr.
That is correct. 30 on the bonus. Toss-up 6. The Uspallata Pass cuts through this mountain range, which contains a plateau called the Altiplano. The mountain that is farthest from the Earth's center Chimborazo is found in this range in Ecuador. For 10 points, name this range that...
Andes.
That's correct. For 10. Your bonus. This type of composition opens with one voice playing the subject and each successive voice entering with the subject. For 10 points each, name these pieces of imitative counterpoint that can include expositions, episodes, and a stretto.
Story.
Incorrect. Captain?
Alright.
The answer is fugue. This German Baroque composer wrote the Little Fugue in G minor and a toccata and fugue in D minor.
Bach.
That's correct. The Little Fugue in G minor and the toccata and fugue in D minor were written for this instrument, which was performed by E. Power Biggs.
Harpsichord.
Incorrect. Captain?
Violin.
Incorrect. That would be the pipe organ. 10 on the bonus. Toss of 7. A mental hospital in this state is the setting of the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey, who lived in its Willamette Valley. The first openly bisexual governor, Kate Brown, leads the state. For 10 points, name this state whose cities include Eugene and Portland. Manual 1.
Oregon.
That is correct. For 10. Your bonus. The French merchant Jean Angot helped finance the 16th century expeditions of Jacques Cartier and this man. For 10 points each, name this Italian explorer who visited New York Bay in the early 1500s. Today, he names a bridge connecting Brooklyn with Staten Island.
Cabot.
That is incorrect, Captain.
Hudson.
Incorrect. Verrazano. Verrazano's journey was inspired by the journey of this earlier explorer who died in the Philippines while leading the first expedition to circumnavigate the Earth.
Magellan.
That's correct. Verrazano's crew met a group of Wampanoag Native Americans while exploring this bay that juts into modern-day Rhode Island. Answer, please.
Biscay.
Incorrect. Captain?
Chesapeake.
It would be the Narragansett. 10 on the bonus. Toss of 8. This city on the Ligurian Sea employed the Admiral Andrea Doria. Manual, please.
Venice.
Incorrect. This city was first led by Simon Boccanegra and controlled a maritime republic overthrown by Napoleon. Christopher Columbus was born in, for 10 points, what northwestern... Grayson 1. That is correct. For 10. Your bonus. The 7th chapter of Lewis Carroll's novel, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, is named after a mad one of these events. For 10 points each, name this type of social gathering at which the Hatter, the March Hare, and the Dormouse gather around a large table.
Tea party.
Correct. After Alice leaves the mad tea party, the Queen of Hearts makes her play this game using a hedgehog as a ball and a flamingo as a mallet.
Croquet.
That is correct. Alice later angers the Queen of Hearts during a ridiculous trial inspired by a nursery rhyme at which the Knave of Hearts is charged with stealing this type of dessert. Answer, please.
Eclair.
Incorrect. Captain?
Cake.
Incorrect. That would be a tart.
Oh.
20 on the bonus. Okay. Acastus drove out this toss up 9. Acastus drove out this woman and her lover after she had Peleus killed. While fleeing from her homeland, she killed the giant Talos, and she scattered pieces of her half-brother Absyrtus to distract her father Aeetes. For 10 points, name this witch from Colchis, who was the lover of Jason. Grayson 2.
India.
Correct, for 10. Your bonus. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake created a tsunami that caused 3 level 7 crises in Japan's Fukushima prefecture. For 10 points each, those crises occurred at this type of facility.
Nuclear plant.
That is... prompt.
Nuclear power plant.
Yes, that is correct. Within 0.5, the earthquake was assigned this severity on the logarithmic moment magnitude scale.
7.0.
That is incorrect, Captain.
6.5.
Incorrect. 9.0, except 8.5 to 9.5. Let's see. Most experts believe the meltdowns will go down as the second worst nuclear accident in history, behind only this 1986 disaster at this European plant.
Chernobyl.
Correct. That is 2 on the bonus. Toss up 10, the last of the half. In Optica Promota, James Gregory designed but did not build one of these tools. Isaac Newton's improvement places an eyepiece on the side. Two of the world's manual 2.
Microscope.
Incorrect. 2 of the world's largest examples of these devices are at the Keck Observatory. For 10 points, name these tools that are tools used to view astronomical objects. Grayson 2.
Telescope.
That's correct. For 10. Your bonus. One of this nation's most recognizable buildings was designed by Danish architect Jørgen Utzon. For 10 points each, name this country that is home to the Sydney Opera House.
Australia.
That's correct. This composer's adaptation of War and Peace was the first opera to be staged in the Sydney Opera House. He also wrote Peter and the Wolf.
Procopio.
That's correct. Botany Bay was the landing site of the first European expedition to visit Sydney, which was led by this captain of the HMS Endeavour.
Smith.
Incorrect. Captain.
Cook.
That is correct. 20 on the bonus, 10 on the bounce back, and that is the half. We will announce the score after the worksheets, if everybody doesn't mind.
Same world. Same plan.
Is the worksheet?
And please write your names on these. Okay, or we'll write them on this. Sorry. And you'll have 2 minutes. I will announce when there's 1 minute remaining and when there is and when there are 10 seconds remaining. Please do not flip them over until I start the timer. Does everybody have their desired arrangement? Yes. Okay. Begin. 1 minute remaining. Seconds left. Time. Pencils down, please. We already wrote them for you. If you would mind with those as well. And if you would like them, you can ask them after. This go? Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we average that again.
130 points for Grayson.
And 130 for me.
We're averaging 130.
So that brings Grayson with 220, Manuel with 370.
Okay, I have a substitution. We're going to let Amy go in for Jonathan.
Okay. Does Manuel have any substitutions?
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
You can use the same one.
370.
What'd you say?
You can use the same one.
Okay. You can't learn me like that.
Okay. Is everyone ready? Okay. Then does anyone want a buzzer check?
I will. You know.
Is the top of his buzzer fell off in the first round. So. Okay. Then we will start with toss-up 11. One section of this place is colored like iron and mountains and contains 10 concentric moats surrounding a central well. This place that includes the Malay Bulge also has a level that is filled with gluttons. 9 circles make up for 10 points. Grayson 2.
Hell.
Yes, that's correct. For 10. Your bonus. For 10 points each, answer the following about a mass resting on an inclined plane. The magnitude of this force is at most a namesake coefficient times the force of gravity times the sine of the inclined plane's angle. This force opposes the direction of the applied force. Incorrect. That is correct. The magnitude of the static friction is at most the coefficient of static friction times the contact force. It acts perpendicular to the inclined plane.
Mu.
Incorrect, Captain.
Gravity.
Incorrect. It is the normal force. When the static friction just balances the downslope component of gravity, the coefficient of static friction equals this function of the inclined plane's angle. Answer, please.
No answer.
Captain?
Cosine.
Incorrect. It's the tangent. Toss-up 12. This chemist used a G in a circle to represent gold and an empty circle to represent oxygen. Manual 1.
Mendeleev.
Incorrect. He proposed the law of multiple proportions for elements and a law of partial pressure for gases. For 10 points, name this British chemist who developed modern atomic theory. Grayson 2.
Dalton.
That's correct for 10. Bonus, your bonus. This man was succeeded in his governing role by Jules Mazarin. For 10 points each, name this cardinal who served as Louis XIII's chief minister from 1624 to 1642.
Richelieu.
That is correct. Louis XIII was a member of this French dynasty. Henry IV was the first man from this house to rule France.
Bourbon.
That is correct. Richelieu directed France's foreign policy during this war, which began in 1618 after 2 diplomats were thrown out of a window in the defenestration of Prague. Answer, please.
30 Years' War.
That's correct. 30 on the bonus. Toss-up 13. Shortly before her wedding day, this character wakes to see her bridal veil being destroyed by a dark-haired woman. The servant of Grace Poole alarms this character, who works as a governor at Thornfield Hall. Mr. Rochester loves Grayson 2.
Jane Eyre.
That's correct. For 10. We have 3 seconds for hesitations for this. Yeah. Your bonus. The Dymaxion map of Buckminster Fuller is a map of the Earth projected onto this object. For 10 points each, name this polyhedron with 20 faces.
Dodecahedron.
Incorrect. Captain?
That doesn't make sure. Icosahedron.
That is correct. The icosahedron is classified, along with the tetrahedron and three others, as one of the solids named for an ancient Greek philosopher. Answer, please.
Plato.
Prompt.
Plato.
Incorrect, Captain.
Photonics.
That is correct. The 20 faces of a regular icosahedron are each in this specific shape.
Decagon.
Captain?
I don't make sure that's hexagon.
Incorrect. Equilateral triangles. Okay. Toss-up 14. The disease lymphatic filariasis, which causes massive swelling in the body, is often named after this animal. Their elongated incisors have historically been hunted for ivory. Grayson 1. Elephant? Correct, for 10. Your bonus. For 10 points each, name these politicians from Wisconsin. This senator triggered a Red Scare when he claimed to have a list of communists in the U.S. government. Answer, please. Correct. This Wisconsin representative, who ran for vice president in 2012, chairs the House Budget Committee.
Romney.
Incorrect. Captain?
Dick Walker.
Incorrect. That would be Paul Ryan. This politician, who served as a senator, representative, and governor, founded the Progressive Party in 1924. His similarly named son also served as a Wisconsin senator. Answer, please.
Smith.
Captain?
That doesn't make Dick Taft.
Incorrect. La Follette. 10 on the bounce. 10 on the bounce. 10 on the bounce back. 0 on the bonus. Okay. Toss-up 15. This author described Greece as a sad relic in the poetic travel narrative Harold's Pilgrimage. In 1824, this poet died at Missolonghi while taking part in the Greek War of Independence. Grayson 2.
Lord Byron.
Correct, for 10. Your bonus. Ostrich tells this play's protagonist, "Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark." For 10 points each, name this play by William Shakespeare. Answer? Correct. Hamlet asks Ophelia, "Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners?" after telling her, "Get thee to one of these institutions."
Nunnery.
That is correct. After Hamlet dies, this loyal friend declares, "Good night, sweet prince." Answer, please.
Smith.
Colonius.
Incorrect. Horatio. Okay, toss-up 16. During this scandal, a trial presided over by John Sirica, resulted in convictions for James McCord and others. Manual 3.
Watergate.
Correct, for power. Your bonus. Until 1982, this nation's capital was known as Salisbury. For 10 points each, name this African nation whose capital was renamed Harare. Since the 1980s, it has been led by Robert Mugabe.
Zimbabwe.
That is correct. Between 1965 and 1979, Zimbabwe was known by this name in honor of a British politician who was a strong proponent of colonization in Africa.
Rhodesia.
That is correct. Victoria Falls, which spans the Zambezi River, is found along the border of Zimbabwe and this neighboring nation to its north. Answer, please.
Congo.
Incorrect. Captain?
Ecuador.
Incorrect. It would be the Republic of Zambia. Toss-up 17. This scientist added a constant vacuum energy density to one of his theories to allow for static models of the universe. The cosmological constant appears in his field equations describing space-time curvature. For 10 points, name this creator of the theory of general relativity. Grayson 2.
Einstein.
Correct, for 10. Your bonus. This quantity usually increases as temperatures rise, since more particles will have energy above the activation energy. For 10 points each, name this measure of how quickly the reactants of a reaction combine to form products. Answer, please.
Reaction speed.
Incorrect, Captain.
Catalyzation energy.
Incorrect. The reaction rate. In the formula for the reaction rate, the reactant concentrations are raised to powers that correspond to this variable. When this value is 0, the rate is independent of the concentration. Answer, incorrect.
Volume.
Incorrect. Reaction order. The activation energy of a reaction can be lowered by using the substances. Enzymes are biological examples of them.
Catalyst.
That is correct. 10 on the bonus. Toss-up number 18. During this war, Britons ate the whole wheat national loaf and were told to dig for victory. Manual 3. That is correct for power. This landmark is celebrated in a poem that ends, "I lift my lamp beside the golden door." For 10 points each, name the statue in New York Harbor that is described as a mighty woman with a torch in the poem, The New Colossus.
Statue of Liberty.
That is correct. In the New Colossus, the Statue of Liberty asks to receive the tired, the poor, and the huddled masses who are yearning to perform this two-word action. Give the exact 2 words used in the poem.
Be free.
Incorrect. Captain?
Live free.
Incorrect. Breathe free. This New York City poet wrote The New Colossus. That is correct. 20 on the bonus. Toss-up 19. In August 2015, 14 members of the Barrio 18 gang were killed in prison in this country, where the phenomenon of Mara gangs caused a wave of child emigration to the U.S. in 2014. Grayson 2.
Honduras.
Incorrect. Manual 3.
Mexico.
Incorrect. The answer was El Salvador. Toss-up 20, the last. The first Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for the discovery of this phenomenon by Wilhelm Röntgen. Manual 2.
X-ray.
Correct, for power. Your bonus. He worked with Dolores Huerta to found the National Farm Workers Association. For 10 points each, name this Latino leader of labor movements in the American West.
Cesar Chavez.
That is correct. Chavez popularized this phrase "Si se puede," which was adopted into this English slogan of Barack Obama's campaign in 2008.
Yes, we can.
That is correct. Chavez prominently supported a strike by people who picked this crop in Delano, California.
Grapes.
That is correct. 30 on the bonus. And that's the match. We have the final score of 340 Grayson to 525 Manuel.